Surface Tension is fondly remembered as one of the most memorable chapters in Half-Life. In my opinion, it's by far the best chapter in the entire game. To me, Surface Tension captures the overall vibe of Half-Life really well. It does an amazing job at highlighting the major strengths in Half-Life's gameplay and storytelling. So today, I decided to dedicate a video specifically to this chapter to showcase why this chapter is so good, why I and many others think that it's the best part of the entire game. So without any further delay, let's begin. The level begins after you exit the laboratories from questionable ethics and go through a closed-off gate where a few Marines try to ambush you, but fail immediately as they think taking cover behind clearly flammable barrels is a good idea. One of the major strengths of the chapter is on display right from the get-go, that being how open and varied the environments are. Up until now, you were fighting in tight corridors or medium-sized rooms, so seeing massive open areas after traveling through such small and tight corridors feels refreshing and new. And it's not just in this part, the entire chapter manages to keep this level of environmental variation. Like, you start at a dam, travel across a cliffside, enter a storage room, pass a helipad, etc. It's honestly amazing just how much variation Valve managed to put in a single chapter. Surface Tension lasts about an hour or so and undoubtedly is Half-Life's longest chapter. But not a single part of it feels samey, repetitive or dragged out. This level of variation isn't limited to the environments alone, it applies to the gameplay as well. At first you just fight some Marines and a few Zen creatures, but it slowly evolves into fighting choppers, tanks, these things, snipers, ospreys, and even a freaking gargantua. Even the areas where you don't fight anything have some interesting twists in them. Like, you've got these minefields spread across. You can either try to avoid the mines, or you can just wreck them using grenades. Then there's the warehouse trip mine maze. The HECU have planted trip mines all over this room, and you have to jump over them in order to not trigger them. These are just a few examples of how varied the gameplay of Surface Tension is. There are a lot of other gameplay scenarios that are unique and varied, but I can't list all of them, otherwise this video would be an hour long. So, as I said, every section feels new and plays different compared to the areas that came before it. And this is one of the main reasons why this chapter feels so fun and refreshing to play through. This chapter is also a great example of just how well Half-Life's level design and gameplay complement each other. Take this dam section for example. The goal of this level is that you have to get on this tower, press a button to allow the water present in this side of the dam to flow to the other side, and then you have to go underwater and turn this valve in order to open this gate and swim through it. And the best part is the game doesn't just outright tell you that hey, go there and turn this valve on. There are clear hints right from the get-go that tell you where you need to go in order to progress. You also got this chopper and a dude with a mounted rocket launcher that will shoot you. This creates a sense of urgency as you need to get off this dam as fast as you can, otherwise the chopper or the rocket dude will kill you. You can also cheese through this section if you want by killing the chopper, the rocket dude and the Ichthyosaurus in the water, if you want a more safer but slower approach. It's completely up to you how you decide to beat this area. This level of player freedom is present in some of the other areas as well. Like the tank battle I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of water tunnels present in this area, which allow you to ambush the Marines and the tank from whichever direction you prefer. Another good example is the trip mine maze that I mentioned earlier. There are different pathways you can choose in order to get through the maze. It fully depends on you, as you can choose any pathway that seems preferable to you. No matter which path you choose, you will be given hints as to which direction you should go in order to reach your destination, the control room. This is genius level design, as not only is the player given so much freedom, but the way of progression is made clear through environmental hints and not through pop-up messages. I know all of Half-Life's chapters have this form of level design where it lets the player figure things out on their own, but I personally think it's at its peak in Surface Tension. There are a lot of sections where you have to think quickly or you'll suffer major consequences. And this is exactly why I love Surface Tension's level design so much. Apart from having genius level design, this chapter also houses some of the most iconic and recognizable areas of Half-Life. The cliffside is arguably the most iconic and memorable section of the entire chapter. The feeling of awe when you come out of the drainage pipes and marvel at the view for a few seconds, only for the moment to get ruined by this turret. Apart from that minor inconvenience, this area is by far my favorite section out of the entire chapter. It looks gorgeous and stunning, complete with the Valve theme playing in the background. It also serves as a reminder as to just how big the Black Mesa facility is. It's strangely tranquil, as if it's there to make you think about your journey and to realize how far you've come. This is also a good part to talk about the storytelling aspects of this chapter. I've already mentioned that Surface Tension does a really good job at highlighting Half-Life storytelling aspects. The main plot that's showcased during this chapter is the ensuing war going on between the HECU Marines and the Xen creatures. It's by far one of the best uses of environmental storytelling I've seen in a game. Throughout the chapter, you see the Xen creatures and the Marines battling each other. There's everything from small-scale battles to big ones including tanks, jets, etc. There's also this really cool detail that you can always hear sounds of gunfire and explosions in the distance. It shows that the war is taking place on a much larger scale and we're experiencing only a small portion of it. It finally comes full circle where the HECU finally understand that the situation is way too messed up for them to control, and they finally decide to abandon the area and bomb it.
Copy. Forget about Freeman. We're abandoning the base. If you have any last bomb targets, mark them on the tactical map. Otherwise, get the hell out of there. Repeat, we are pulling out and commencing airstrikes. Give us targets or get below.
The level of environmental storytelling in this chapter is just amazing, and it's honestly kinda sad to see the hellish nightmare that the HECU is going through on the surface of the Black Mesa facility. And it's told and showcased extremely well. And this is exactly why I think Surface Tension is the peak of Half-Life storytelling aspects. So, these are the reasons why I think Surface Tension is Half-Life's best chapter. It combines the best parts of Half-Life and puts them in a single chapter, and it's a blast to play through from start to end. So, do you also think Surface Tension is the best chapter of Half-Life, or is it any other chapter that comes to your mind? Let me know down in the comments. I know this video is much different than the usual content I make, that being brain dead memes, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on this chapter. And well, that's exactly what I did. So like and share the video if you like it, and subscribe to my channel. If you like this type of content, I'll try make more of these. And yeah, that's it. That's about it.